Do you want to create your next web application using Laravel Sail and XDebug? I'll show you how. Before we begin, you need to install Docker Desktop. I'm going to leave a link in the description, so follow that and have it ready. Also, if you are on Windows, you are going to need to install Windows Subsystem for Linux 2, or WSL2 for short. Documentation on how to install and enable it can be found in a link in the description below. Great, now let's create a new project. For Windows users, launch a Windows terminal and start a new session for your WSL2 Linux operating system. For everyone else, just open a terminal and run the following command. This will create a Laravel application in a folder called example-app. You can replace example-app with the name of your project. Once this is finished, get inside the new project folder and start Laravel Sail. This is going to take a few minutes the first time you run it, but don't worry because subsequent executions will be a lot faster. Quick tip, if you don't want to type vendor bin sail every time, you can create an alias. Hit Ctrl C to stop sail and create a new alias like this. Now let's start sail again, but this time let's run it in the background by adding -d. If you're getting an error while trying to start sail, don't worry. That just means there is still a little bit of configuration left. Laravel Sail comes back with its own web server and MySQL database, among other things. If you previously had any of those installed, you may run into some errors where the ports 80 or 3306 are in use. To fix this, we just need to make a small modification to our .env file. I'm going to use VS Code as my editor, and I highly recommend you do that as well. And if you are on Windows, make sure to install the Remote Development extension as well. I'll leave a link in the description for that. To open your project in VS Code, from the terminal make sure you are inside your project folder and then run the following command. This will start a new VS Code window and open the current folder as your project. If for some reason this doesn't work, just open a new VS Code window and hit Shift-Command-P or Shift-Control-P on Windows, and then type shell. You should see an option that reads shell command install code in path. Select it and then try running the same command in the terminal again. Now that we have our project opened, let's edit the .env file and add these two lines at the end. This will instruct Laravel Sail to use port 8080 as the web port and 33600 as the database port. You can choose any port numbers you want as long as they are not being used. Now from the terminal, run sail up-d again, and you should not see any errors this time. At this point, you can visit localhost to see the default Laravel welcome page. If you had to add a custom port to the .env file, make sure to add that port in the address like this. Congratulations! Now in the next following minutes we are going to add XDebug to the Docker file configuration so that we can debug our code line by line. If, however, you don't want to add XDebug, then this is a good place to stop. Otherwise, let's keep going. Since we are going to modify the Docker file that comes included with Laravel Sail, first we need to publish it. And we can do so using the following command. Once you do this, you should have a new folder called Docker in the root of your project. Open the Docker file that is located inside Docker 8.0. In order to install XDebug properly, we have to add the configuration in a very specific place inside this file. So look for a line that looks like this. Once you find it, remove the backslash at the end. Add a few lines in between, and then replace these two ampersands with run. Now, in the space in between, you are going to add the following two lines. The first line is going to install the PHP XDebug extension. And the second is going to copy a custom XDebug configuration file into the Docker image. Now all we have to do is create this XDebug configuration file. You want to create this file inside the Docker 8.0 folder. Now open the file and add the following lines. If you don't want to type all of this, I'm going to leave a link in the description for a GitHub gist so you can copy and paste it. All we need to do now is stop and rebuild the sail image. Once the image has finished rebuilding, you can make sure that XDebug has been installed correctly by running the following command. You should see something like this. Now it's time to configure VS Code. So, in the editor, use Shift-Command-D or Shift-Control-D on Windows to open the debug panel. Click where it says Create a launch.json file, and then select PHP from the dropdown. We have to make a couple of modifications to the first entry of the configuration file. I will leave a link in the description for a GitHub gist, so you can just copy and paste it in here. Make sure you change this path to the path that matches your project folder. Once you save this file, you should have the ability to start a debugging session by clicking the green arrow at the top of the debug panel, or by using the Run Start Debugging menu. To give this a try, open the web.php file located inside the routes folder. This has only one route that displays the welcome view. Add a breakpoint on the return line by clicking to the left of the line number, or by placing the cursor on the desired line and then using the Run Toggle Breakpoint menu. Now, navigate again to localhost, or if you have the page open already, just refresh, and you should see the process stop at the breakpoint. And that's it. Now you have Laravel Sail configured with XDebug and connected to VS Code. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing as well. It really does help out. If you want to be notified about future videos, don't forget to click the bell icon down below. I'll see you in the next one.